Hi, everybody. It's been a while. Welcome to my podcast, Bree and Chill, where I sit here and yap about nonsense. I haven't yapped about nonsense in a while. But, I told myself I was going to lock in this year. So I'm going to lock in, especially with the trips that I have coming up. And that's the whole point of this podcast, is to talk to people, which is part of the reason I haven't really posted anything. I don't know if you listened to my last episode, but that was like really vulnerable, really hard for me to even like put it out there. I kind of have a hard time putting myself out there in general. So I'm trying to fight that. It's like I put this pressure on myself to like be perfect. And I know better than to just like to try to be perfect. I know better than that, but I think because I'm a recovering people pleaser, that it just makes it a little bit like, you gotta make all these people happy. But like, really, I don't care about making people happy. I actually just care about the fact that I'm kind of a verbal processor and I like talking to people. So my solo episodes are just kind of rough for me, but I didn't even want to advertise my last episode. I didn't want to tell anybody that I posted it because it's very sensitive. It's a sensitive topic. So, I was just kind of going through it the last couple months. It was winter as well, so that didn't help. And I live in Ohio. And it was a really, really snowy winter, which we have not gotten that kind of winter in a long time. And I'm over it. I'm sure a lot of people in Ohio are over it. There's even people that love snow that are tired of the winter, which good. We're almost to spring. We're almost there. I've thought about doing this particular episode for a long time. And I was going to tell you about, I had a situationship that I had for like a year and a half. We were never serious, and a year and a half was a long time. But he told me that he moved on with his ex. Hooray, we love that. And it hit me real hard. And I didn't think it was going to hit me that hard. I think I was really surprised that it hit me that hard because I knew one day one of us were going to just like move on. It was going to happen. And I mean, I'm glad that he told me, but at the same time, like, I don't know, that the closure was like slam the door shut. So not only was I in seasonal depression mode, I was also in like grieving mode. And it's crazy because like I've tried to date people in between, like, because like I said, it wasn't serious. Like, you would come hang out and things. And then I don't know, we went a while without talking. Like, if we didn't talk for like a month or two, sometimes I tried to move on. Like, I told myself when I met the guy I wasn't going to catch feelings. I was like, no, I'm not doing that again. I'm not going to fall for this guy. And I did like everything in my power to like try to not, it didn't work. And it kind of made me wonder if I even ever liked anybody, because this guy, I really ran from him. I ran. Okay. But enough about that. I'm still kind of grieving it a little bit. I'm not going to lie to you. But that's what I've been dealing with, is trying to like, hey, telling myself it wasn't that serious anyway. And now I can actually like be free. But I don't know. It's kind of weird because it did feel good that the Band-Aid got ripped off. But yeah, it's a lot. A year and a half is kind of a long time. Usually I get tired of people after usually it doesn't even go 2 months before I'm tired of people. And my dating history, I was hoping to find somebody better than him, but anytime I would try to move on from him within that year and a half, I would start talking to somebody and they would just be they're not good. They're not good. One of them wore my underwear. Okay? Wore my underwear. So, I'm like, dude, this guy, you're supposed to be better, but you were worse. Another one, I'm going to be nice because I feel like maybe he would maybe listen to this. Maybe. And I don't know. There's not really a nice way to say what was wrong there. But each time I sat there and thought of the dude that moved on with his ex, I'm like, you guys are supposed to be better than him, and you're not. But that's what I've been dealing with. And I think now, though, I finally am not clinging to anybody or trying to not cling to somebody. And I feel like that's always been a big part of my life, is my love life. And right now, I actually don't have any. I'm not on somebody right now, and it's kind of weird. I'm used to having a crush, and then I'm a big music person, so I'll listen to certain songs and think about this person. And it's weird when I'm listening to music now too, when I'm listening to those kind of songs, because I'm not thinking about somebody with them, and I'm just used to doing that. Very odd, but that's just how it is for me. And I'm glad that I'm free now. I'm glad that I told myself I'm going to lock in this year. And I mean it. I'm really going to try to stick to the bi-weekly posting. Even wrote out a schedule with ChatGPT. Yes, I still use ChatGPT. I still use AI. If you are an AI hater, you probably don't want to listen to me or watch my videos. Mind you, I don't get my ideas from ChatGPT. I kind of use it as a journal. It reflects myself back to me. And actually, I feel like it's the accountable version of myself. Sometimes it gets snippy, dude. Sometimes it gets snippy. I'll be talking about something and be like, don't you romanticize inconsistency. That's what it actually told me about this podcast, because I was like, okay, we need to make me be able to do this as often as I need to do what I say I want to do. But it's right. I don't want to romanticize inconsistency, but that's why I was talking to it in the first place. Let's do this. But I think it was more so referring to, there's been a lot of times I start and stop and restart. But also from the beginning, my goal was to not have a lot of edited stuff. Not just because I don't really want to do editing. I kind of want it to feel like you're here hanging out with me. And if there's somebody else here, I want it to feel like you're hanging out, because those are usually the kinds of podcasts I like to listen to, is when people are just talking and they're not really scripted. Those are my favorites. Besides the true crime stuff. I don't know. I love me some Bailey Sarian. I love her so much. But I also really love Duncan Trussell. I feel like I've talked about this before too. But So yeah, I guess a lot of my solo episodes are just going to be me getting deep with you guys, let you know what's going on inside. But I don't know what else to talk about. Like, honestly, it hasn't been that interesting for me. I like work, and then sometimes I go do fun things. I went on a little trip at the beginning of February because I got really, really cheap flights. I am like the master at that, I feel. But I'm also somebody who's not afraid to fly Frontier or Spirit. I don't. For a 2 to 3 hour flight, I don't care if my seat's not that comfortable. I'll sit on a stool. If that's how it was, I would sit on I'd stand up. I mean, I don't think I'd want to stand for that long, but that's really fast to be from here to Florida, I think. Because I think it takes like a day to drive down there. But that was kind of like an impromptu trip. And then I have my birthday one coming up. But to see Artemis again. Are you surprised? I think this one's going to be really good. I mean, the other times I've seen him were really good too. But going back to Miami to see him again in Miami. Because the very first time I tried to see him was also in Miami. Just didn't get to see him perform, which sucked. I still am hurt about that, okay? So I think this will make up for it. But I'm very excited. My bestie's meeting me there. And I think after that, I'll have a lot more to talk about and maybe meet people and do some podcast episodes. Maybe one. I don't know how often I'm going to be wanting to record. But I don't want to do too much editing because, or like even my equipment. There's part of me that's like, oh, I should have a better setup. But it's like, if I travel this much, I really like doing the real simple stuff. And if people don't like that, they don't have to like listen. But I've still got to put episodes out there. Like, I feel like me not posting consistently is kind of like me abandoning myself. Because I say I want to do this. I think about this every day. Every single day I think about doing the podcast. So just getting too perfectionist, restarting a bunch of times. Whatever. This is about to be my take, though. I'm about to, if this doesn't make it as long as I'd like it to, it's going to go on. We're at 13 minutes now, so that's okay. But I think there was a pressure of like how much time I wanted to talk. Or like I said, putting myself out there. I'm not good at like reaching out to people being like, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? It's hard for me, and I know I've got to step outside of myself and do that. And I'm gonna start doing little baby steps. I think I've been getting better. I do have some people that I know want to come on here. So I'm gonna do that. But even if it's like a solo episode and it's like 10 minutes long, because like I said, I don't know what all to tell you guys about myself. I mean, I literally just told you about the shortest version of my love life ever. And I don't know if you guys really want to hear all that. I don't want to really hear myself talk about this. I want to get over this shit. That's why I do not want to do like a trauma podcast. And I think that's why it was so hard to post the last episode and even after, because I'm like, dude, that was not really something I wanted to talk about on here, at least not yet. But it's out there. I hope it helps somebody. I know this particular episode is not going to help anybody. It's just me rambling so I can post something. That's what it is. This is me showing up for myself. But I do have trips coming up, and I hope to get some stuff out of that. I even thought about maybe taking people hiking. And since I have these little tiny microphones, like we might be breathing really hard while hiking, but I think it would be fun to actually do activities with people rather than just like sit somewhere. Don't get used to the video because audio is a lot easier to set up. So if somebody doesn't want to be on camera, or I don't have the tripod with me, I can pull these out. These things fit in my purse. Like I can just like toss them in there and pull them out when I want to record something. And yeah, I don't know why I had a pressure to get better stuff. I think for maybe when I'm at home, I might want like the bigger, better microphones. But like when I'm traveling, this is going to have to do. So I want to travel with this podcast. So I guess if you're still sticking around listening to me babble, this is what it sounds like when I send my besties voice messages. And I'm not kidding. This is what it sounds like. This one's a longer version of that, but I literally just yap. And then they listen. So I guess that makes me your bestie now. It's so corny, but this is really what it's like. I'm hoping the next episode I have somebody on here. Most likely will. If not, it might be a 10-minute episode. But that's what I've been dealing with so far. Or not so far. I guess lately. Just been in a funk. And now it's springtime. I tell you what, it's warm today. And I went out to get some groceries. And it's so warm today. I am like, maybe I don't have depression. Maybe I just need some sunlight. But I think that's all I have to talk about. I think the only other thing in my head is the Jim Carrey thing that's going on right now. Everybody thinking he's a clone. I'm sorry, but if you think he's a clone, I don't care how controversial this is or whatever the hell you call it. If you think he's a clone, please get out of here. Get on out of here. I'm sorry. I stand firm that this man is him. I think it's him. His hairline's different. Yes, because he's getting old, you guys. He's getting fucking old. And he said he would never get surgery. He'd never get Botox. And you know what? I said I would never ever drive a red car. I would never own a red car. I have a red car. And I love this car a lot. Like, this is my favorite one I've ever owned. So I don't know. People are constantly saying, I would never do that. And then they end up doing that thing that they said that they would never do. And I don't think that he is different than anybody else for that. So he's old and looks like he might have got some surgery. But y'all will never convince me. And you're not going to convince me that it's a guy in a mask either. I'm sorry. There's no way prosthetics are that good. There's no way. I'll never believe that they would let somebody impersonating him into the awards with his family. But like, I don't know. The internet's been making me angry lately. And I think that's part of the reason I haven't been wanting to post, because like people are just like ripping this celebrity to shreds. So I don't know. Like, I don't know. People are just fucking mean. And I really fucking hate it. Anyway, thanks for coming to my random talks. Thanks for having me lock in, because that's what this episode's doing. I want to also improve like how I talk. I'm tired of saying and like all the time, but I also don't want to cut that out. I kind of just want to like let myself be messy and post it. So it feels like you're here hanging out with me, because this is how it would be. Maybe a little less awkward. I think this is so awkward because I'm like talking to a camera. I can see a picture of myself. Like, you know, it's odd. Anyway, I think that's it. And you know, if you guys could like maybe comment on here, that'd be awesome. I appreciate people messaging me and telling me that they listened, but please just comment, okay? Just comment. You don't need to message me on a different app to tell me that you liked an episode. Just like comment and like, because that helps me out. Okay. If you don't, that's fine too. Don't want to subscribe, fine. That's fine. But anyway, I hope we have some good episodes soon. Like, comment, maybe subscribe if you want. And I will see you guys later. Bye.